what I want to emphasize today, because I know that this is something that comes up a lot in times of uncertainty, is this feeling of fear. So when we don't know what's next, which really is the reality always, is we never know what will come next, but sometimes we think our lives are a little bit more predictable, I would say. And so maybe we're more in a routine, let's say, or we're just kind of caught up in, our day to day. Life feels a little bit more certain. And for the past several months, worldwide, there has been a lot of uncertainty. First of all, beginning with the COVID-19 and then transitioning into the civil rights movement that's happening right now. And this can stir up a lot of fear. And so fear is, in Chinese medicine, the emotional state that is associated with an imbalanced kidney system. And the kidneys in Chinese medicine are also closely linked with the adrenal glands, which are the glands that kick in to regulate things like your heart rate, your blood pressure. They're two glands that sit on top of the kidneys. And also, it has a lot to do with your bladder system. So when you're feeling a lot of fear, what happens is that the kidneys are overworked or overtaxed. Your nervous system is not quite right. And that's why you'll feel fear that eventually can become very paralyzing. You also have to understand that the kidney system has a lot to do with your potential. It has to do with your curriculum or what you're meant to do in this lifetime. So when you're in a state of fear, there's really no way to take action or to do inspired action to create change in the world. So we have to address the fear that you might be feeling right now, as many of you I'm certain are, even if it's like percolating underneath and it's not so visible quite yet. The kidney system, because it's also affiliated with the bladder, when you have a lot of imbalance in the kidney system, you might also develop urogenital issues like frequent urination or having to wake up in the middle of the night to go pee. So the important areas to address in terms of practice when we're working with the kidneys, besides just bringing energy to the kidneys themselves, which lay in the lower part of the back, each side of the spine, is to draw energy into the hips, pelvis, and lower back, also the groin region. So this whole area needs to be open, and we want to kind of home in energy to the core of your body, because when you feel settled, when the kidneys are strong, this not only helps you to cultivate your potential, to reach your potential, and to find out what your purpose is in your life. That happens through the connection with the heart and kidneys. But it also will help you to feel more at home with yourself. The feeling of inner peace comes from a strong kidney energy. It comes from that feeling of being really rooted in the core essence of your being. And that is something that you can cultivate through regular practice. It's not just something that you have to think about in your mind or imagine or visualize to manifest. So your practice can actually support you to feel more at home with yourself so that you can quell your fears and create a deeper sense of inner peace. So that's what the practice is going to focus on today. So as people float in, we'll get started. And what I want you to begin first, and it'll be a very gentle, deep practice. We're going to focus again in this area in particular to get this area open, the hips, the pelvis, the groins. But I also want you to be mindful that in terms of your own self-care, taking care of the kidneys means that you moderate the amount that you work. So if you're overworking, this is going to tax your nervous system and the kidney system. So you want to make sure that you're balancing work, rest, and play. And also in terms of your diet, it's really important that you're not eating too many cold or raw foods, because cold, raw foods from a Chinese medicine point of view tax the spleen, which is the primary organ of digestion. So the spleen, we say, transforms food, but also your thoughts. So if you're feeling like really like your mind is racing, you really have to pay attention to what's going on in your gut as well. It takes a lot more energy to digest foods that are cold and raw than it does foods that are warm and cooked, like soups and stews. And the kidneys feed energy to the spleen in order for the spleen to be able to properly do its function of helping with the digestive process. So if you're taxing the spleen, which means that you're eating a lot of foods like refined foods, processed foods, raw foods, uncooked foods, That's going to take a lot more energy for the spleen to transform those foods, which then means that it has to draw more resources from the kidneys in order to accomplish its goals. So if you can lighten up how you eat and pay attention and be mindful to your eating habits, you can also mitigate the amount of energy that's drawn from your kidney system. So just those simple things, just being a little bit more gentle with yourself, eating less raw foods, more cooked foods, more warm foods, will also help to build back that kidney energy that may have been lost through years of overwork. So let's get started. You're going to stand with your feet about shoulder width apart, and we'll just start to really get grounded in the body. So I want you to feel as though the soles of your feet, you feel the sensation of them being kind of grasped by the earth. And as you stand, you want to make sure that there's the ability or the passageway for chi or energy to circulate in all parts of your body. And in order for that to happen, you need to keep your armpits open. You need to just keep the sides of the body relaxed, the face soft. And take a few deep breaths to start. And breathing is also essential to calm the nervous system. The kidneys also have a really important relationship with the lungs. We say that the lungs circulate chi or energy, and it's the kidneys that grasp or pull that chi down. That helps with peristalsis. It helps also with your general ability to take a deep breath. So if you're having asthma or shortness of breath, there may be a disconnect between the lung and kidney energy. One of those organ systems might be weak. So deep breathing helps to build up lung energy, and then building your kidney energy helps to pull that energy into your body more deeply. And if you're feeling particularly anxious or unsettled today or in any time that you're practicing, you can practice Kumbhaka, which is breath retention. So when you inhale, breathe in, using that ujjayi breath, slightly constricting the back of your throat so that you can actually hear your breathing more internally. And then when you exhale, you can exhale completely. And at the end of your exhale, just push that breath out a little more and hold it for a few moments. So you're emptying the lungs completely and then just holding. And then again, inhale. Feel the lungs expand, the rib cage go outward. You can pause at the top of your inhale as well. That's another Kumbhaka. And then exhale. Smooth exhalation. At the end of your exhale, push the breath out a little more and hold that. Yes. And then inhale and pull the breath in. Pause for a moment, then exhale fully. Nice controlled inhales and exhales. Pause there. And then inhale fully. Pause for just a moment. Remember, we're emphasizing the retention on exhale. So now you exhale. Empty your lungs. Pause for as long as you can. And let's do that one more time. Inhale. You should hear your breath. Exhale. Pause there. Empty the lungs fully. Good. Inhale. And then just exhale. And then just keep breathing. Inhale and exhale at your own pace. And already you might notice a shift in your nervous system and how you feel in your presence. So in order to do anything in your life, whether it's to fulfill your purpose or go out and be more active in terms of the activism that's happening, or be more creative or be more present with your family, you have to be in a clear, calm state in your inner world. That's really essential, and breathing deeply is the quickest way to get there. And then your practice is going to help even further. So let's get started. Let's just begin by shaking. And the important thing is that even as we begin practice, you're really mindful of your inhales and exhales. So I want you to continue that ujjayi breathing even when I'm not cueing you to do so. So you're always taking deep inhales, long exhales. And when you shake, you can lift and drop your heels and shake your arms. Don't pay attention to how it looks. Maybe even close your eyes if there's people around you and you're shy about doing it. Shake your wrists, shake your head a little, shake it all out. Inhale and exhale. Maybe even breathe out through your mouth a few times. Shake, shake, shake. Good. You can jump around a little, turn your hips. Be gentle with your knees. Your knees are also an extension of your kidneys in Chinese medicine. So you really want to take care of those very delicate joints. Good. And then let's anchor that energy, because that can cause some dizziness for some of you. Inhale and lift the arms. Exhale and pull the energy down through the front of your body. Inhale, feel the lift up the spine. Exhale down the front of the body. And one more time. Inhale. And exhale. And this time as you exhale, place your hands on your hips. Your feet are still about shoulder width apart. Now you're going to just relax the shoulders and lift them up slightly. And start to move your head from side to side. And as I go from side to side, notice I'm lifting the shoulder that I'm moving toward. And I'm still breathing, and the rhythm of my breath isn't going to be inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. It's just going to be inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And now I'm going to go forward and back. So as my head goes back, shoulders come forward, head forward, shoulders back. So really stretching the front of your neck, releasing the clavicle, breathing, always breathing. Nice rhythmic inhales and exhales. Good job. Good, and then side to side, forward and back. So now we're connecting those movements. The thing to be really mindful of is that only the shoulders and neck are moving, not the torso, so you don't want to be shifting. At least not yet, not in this movement. And you can go really slow, or you can go quickly. Whatever's comfortable. Crunching, crackling in the neck is normal at first. If you practice daily, you'll notice that change pretty quickly. And then let's reverse. Go the other direction. Good, and then release. Drop your shoulders, go forward, up, back, and down. So even if we're going to focus on working in the hips and the lower part of the body, you still want to have the energy open in the upper parts of your body. A lot of tension accumulates through the neck, the upper part of your spine, the thoracic region. And if that area is stuck, it's going to be really difficult to circulate energy to the lower parts, because remember, your body is all interconnected. Good, and then you're really swaying your spine as well. Good, and then let's go forward. So we were going back here, we're going to start to lift forward and down. Good, and breathe. Good, and then let's take this and start just moving side to side with the hips. So notice my hips are shifting. As I go from side to side, I'm also stretching. So this is another way to do this movement. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stabilize the hips and just start to brush the arms up and down the sides of the body. Good. And breathe as you move. So there's a lot of breath work. There's a lot of opening through the lungs. That's what circulates the energy, right? Is the breath. Movement in the absence of breathing, your yoga practice is just stretching. It's the breath that really takes it deeper to make it more therapeutic. Good, and then let's slow that down. Let's start with small circles with the hips at first. And then we'll take bigger circles. So now starting to really open up, going deeper into the lower body. Remember, you can go deeper to stretch your hamstrings. If that's too much, you can stay upright more. But if you can, go deeper and feel the stretch in the hamstrings. The hamstrings in Chinese medicine are related to the bladder meridian. We talked about the bladder being closely linked to the kidney system. They're paired organs. Good, and then let's slow that down and reverse. So now you're going to do small circles. The other important thing about the bladder is when your nervous system is overactive and you're doing so much or doing a lot, the whole bladder meridian, which runs down the back of your body, is going to be tight. So bladder is the channel that helps us move forward in our lives. You walk forward. If you're doing too much, going forward to the next, to the next, to the next, the bladder becomes hyperactive. Go ahead and create bigger circles now. So part of releasing the bladder is releasing the back, releasing the hamstrings, releasing the glutes. So if it's hard for you to slow down, work with your body. Try not to work so much with the mind. The mind is a little more complicated, a little harder to change. Breathe. Let's go one more. Good. And then let's massage right into the groins. So if you're having like leakage of energy in the urinary system, in any part of the urogenital system, or if you're having like frequent urination, it's really important to work this area. So massage into the thighs. And now we'll go into that extension of the kidneys I mentioned, the knees. So you're just going to turn your hands, and watch as I turn my hands, my fingers start to face toward my body, and I'm bending my knees, and then I'm straightening as I come up. Bend, straighten. Pull the abdomen in for support. Bend and straighten. Breathe. Let's do a few more. And then let's pause. Come up. And we're going to work with that a little bit. So your feet stay hip width apart. But now what you're going to do is practice pulling energy into this region. And as I bring energy here into the lower abdominal region, so the area of the hara, which that's a Japanese word, it's also called the lower dantian in Chinese. You can think of it as the core of your body. That's the seat of energy in your whole body. So if you're not containing energy here, you're going to feel very drained at the end of the day. So one of the best practices to do is called Mula Bandha, as well as Uddiyana Bandha, so the root lock and the abdominal lock. You want to imagine like a kegel pulling up from this region as you go through the day, as well as keeping this energy contained. That's what's going to keep that essence, that energy at the core of your body, even as you're active. So this exercise is going to help kind of build that. So as we go down, you want to simultaneously lift up. So imagine you're doing a kegel and pulling the muscles of the perineum between the anus and the genitalia you're lifting that. So there's a lift. It's very internal. You can't see it from outside. But as you're doing that, you press down. So when you squat, you're here, but I'm lifting. And you can extend your arms. I'll show you from the side. As I come down, I'm here. I'm not collapsing and I'm not arching because you don't want to let the ribs float out. This will really jam your back. It's going to actually prevent you from breathing deeply and can create anxiety. So you want to tuck your tailbone, extend and lift. Extend and lift. Extend. So you're sitting back as though you're about to sit in a chair. Do that a few times. Good. Very nice. Now watch, as I come down, I'm going to start to go even lower. But I'm still keeping my back straight, still keeping the abdominal lock, still lifting from the root of my body. So there's a lot you can do with the kidneys. You can do back bending, forward bending. I'm just going to give you some basics today. Remember, the point of these practices is to give you tools to practice every single day. It's not just about showing up to class. It's about what you cultivate on your own time. So as I sit deeper and deeper, it takes more and more. Now really be careful of the knees. Don't bend too deep if you have knee trouble. Also make sure you're sitting back and not pressing forward. That's important. Back and back. And now, the next time you go down, you're going to hold. So be at a comfortable position. You can either keep the hands at the heart, so that helps bring the energy here more, or you can extend. Strong kidneys give you courage. They give you willpower. And that's ultimately what allows you to manifest your potential. Tuck your tailbone. Relax your toes. You're not gripping. Lift the arches of your feet up. Make sure you're taking deep breaths. You feel your legs? Let's go a little deeper. 2 more breaths. Now you're going to press into the feet to lift. Inhale. And then exhale, hands at the heart. If you don't feel that now, you might feel it tomorrow. Keep breathing. And really get rooted. Feel the lower back. So if you're having tension or any pain or discomfort in your low back in general, you probably need to rest more. You also may want to consider opening your hamstrings and your hips, because if those 2 areas are bound, your lumbar is going to be jammed. And really doing elongation exercises, things that lengthen your spine, the sides of your body, your torso, will help to decompress the spine. Because over time, as we age, gravity is working against us. We have to do things to counter what gravity does to our bodies. So hanging from a bar or laying on an inversion table, something to continuously stretch the spine will help. Now we'll take it a little bit deeper and take your legs wider. So into horse stance. And in horse stance, my feet are going to be turned out. I know it's a little bit hard to see, but about 45 degrees. So your feet are not turned in and they're not turned all the way out, because you want to really protect your knees. So just 45. What I'm going to do is stay upright at first, and when I bend my knees should come right over my ankles. So I'm going to go up and down. And up, slowly, gently, and down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. If it helps, you can, to focus on where you're bringing this energy, you can place your hands at your lower back and go up and down. So it's as though you're pumping energy into the kidneys. Exhale. Inhale. Now go as low as you can with your next exhale and hold. You're going to just rest the hands on the knees, turn the fingers in, lift the shoulders up to the ears. sit a little deeper and take a few breaths. If you can't go all the way deep, go where you can. The most important thing is that you're breathing while you're here. Okay, one more breath. Little deeper. Good. Inhale, press into the heels of your feet and come up. Exhale. Now I know that can also stir up a lot of wind or dizziness, so turn your feet in a little bit and lift the arms as you inhale. Anchor it all down as you exhale. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Good. And then heel and toe your feet together. We're going to just loosen the hips. So you're just going to swing side to side. You can place your hands on your hips if you want. So the feet brush against the floor when I come down, but they're not like swinging the whole time on the floor. You're swinging the legs so the hip can release fully. Once you get the hang of that, you could start to work more with your balance. So you're going to go out and down and out and down. And then over time, you make this one continuous movement, down and around. So your foot does not touch the floor. The toes are pointed, and you lift up with your knee as high as it'll go. Breathe. Okay, and let's reverse directions now. So you're going to go out, around, and down. Out, around, and down. Out, around, down. And then one continuous movement. If you want, you can kind of let your arms swing as you do the movement, or just keep your hands on your hips. Good, and then shake that leg out. Shake both legs out because the standing leg can get taxed as well. And then go ahead and do the other side. So shift your weight into your left leg and just anchor and lift from that standing leg. Use your core. That's what's going to keep you balanced. At first you could just drop the foot, lift and drop, and then over time, circle, circle. Make sure you're breathing. And then let's reverse. So you're going to come up, forward and down. You can drop the foot at first, and then do the full movement. Good. Really slow. If you're not going at my pace, it's fine. Go at your own pace and make sure that you're doing it with your breath, remember? Good. One more. Good. And then let's shake that out. We're going to work a little bit more with balance just by pulling that knee in. Point the toes. Roll the ankles. Make sure the standing leg is strong and lifting you up. And then lower. Lower your hands. Keep your leg up. Point. Breathe. The exhale brings the foot down. Then do the other side. So shake that out. Shift. And lift the other leg. Bringing that right knee in towards your body as much as you can. So if you look at me from the side, I'm pulling in. The standing leg is soft, so your knee is not all the way back. There's a soft bend. Pull in, lift your spine. Roll the ankle. Both directions. Release your arms. Keep the leg lifted as high up as possible. Take a couple breaths. then release. And let's shake. So you should feel a lot of energy right in here. One more time. Inhale, lift the arms, exhale down. 3 rounds. Inhale, lift. Exhale. And one more. Inhale. And exhale. Place one hand on top of the other over the lower abdominal region. Just feeling any heat, any energy radiating out into the palm of your hand through what you've cultivated in your practice. Soften your knees, deepen your breaths. If you feel tired or you want to hold your breath in, if you feel kind of anxious or there's too much stimulation, you focus on the exhalation, doing Kumbhaka or breath retention at the end of your exhale. So choose which one works. Inhale deeply. You can pause there. Exhale deeply. You can again pause there. Let's do one more round. Inhale deeply. Hold. Exhale fully. And hold. Breathe all the air out of your lungs. And then take one deep inhale and exhale. If your eyes are closed, you can open them slowly. Waking yourself back up. And then the heat that you take in your hands, just push it right back onto the kidneys. Creating that sense of feeling at home with yourself, feeling the ease in your body. Feet are grounded, mind is calm, breath is full and deep. And with that feeling, go out in the world and make a difference. I'm here to support you. And in fact, this week what I'd like to know, so thank you for practicing, and this week what I would like to know more than anything is, what are you struggling with the most right now? If you can tell me that in the comments, or what you have been struggling with, or even if you don't want to talk about yourself, talk about what you've noticed is happening. What are people struggling with around you? I want to be able to build resources, classes, to best support whatever's going on in your life right now. Thank you so much for practicing, and I'll see you soon.